People of Reddit, what's the biggest nope moment that you've ever had where you just walked out immediately? My supervisor invited me to a barbecue at her house. I was 18 years old and new to the job. She said I would get to know people from work, and I ended up going. As I was looking for parking, I noticed nobody was in the backyard. I called her because I thought maybe I have the wrong address. Parked my car, knocked on the door, was the only one there, and I knew her husband was out of town. I went back home and was fired a month later. Bad performance review? She said I didn't fit well with her staff. She was the staff. 6-year-old me, a random man at the school gates approached me, said my father had an accident and that he sent me to pick him up. I thought, nope, fuck that, I don't know this guy, and ran into the school. 10 minutes later, the driver who normally picked me up came to get me, and when I got home, my dad had no idea about anything like that first guy had said. Parents were super pleased that I was smart enough to run away. 30 years later, I still think that's probably one of the most important decisions that I've ever made in my life. Walked down a side alley at 3 a.m. in a Scottish city for a piss. I'd been out clubbing. I noticed I was stepping on some sort of glass and what sounded like maybe needles. Looked up, and 5 sets of eyes were looking at me, sitting further back in the dark. I just said, sorry lads, and backed away. Found a nice bush instead. 6 months later, I had the same fucking thing happen again. There's an underground cave system where I used to live in the UK. It's where the royal family would have been taken in the event of a large-scale war back in the day. Rumor has it that there are a bunch of missiles and stuff stored down there. In the same area is a set of stone quarry caves, though they're super old and not really used. We're talking like 100 to 200 meters down. You can get to the bunker system from the old caves apparently. At around 17 or so, a group of my friends and I found a way in. We went down, explored a bit, and then decided to leave. About a week later, I wanted to go down there again, but none of my friends wanted to. I went down there alone. Couple battery torches, chalk, and all that jazz. I was down there for about 45 minutes, happily looking around, mentally mapping out the place in the pitch black, when I start to hear shuffling noises. I thought, shit, it's probably some military guy coming to tell me to bugger off or to escort me out or something. So I turned my torch off, crouched down, not moving a muscle. I still hear the shuffling, though it sounds more like actual walking now, but keeps stopping and starting, as if someone's listening for me. It's only then that I realize, in the absolute darkness, that I don't see any torches or lights. Someone or something is down here, trying to find me, and they don't need a torch. Probably the closest I've ever been in my life to shitting myself. I stood up and quickly turned on my heel to go back. Must have made some noise because fuck me, I hear those steps and they are faster now. Well, my friends, Usain Bolt had nothing on me that day. Torch back on now, I sprinted faster than I've ever done before back to the entrance, up the slope, and dove out of the little hole I crawled through earlier in the day. All the way, hearing my own footsteps, followed by another set. I got out, did not stop running, dove into my car, and drove away. Never saw anything, but I didn't need to, and I never went back. In high school, there was this cute girl I went out with a couple of times. She was a grade below me. On the second date, she talked about how her older sister got pregnant and never finished high school, and that the same thing was probably going to happen to her. There wasn't a third date, as that sort of fatalism was enough for me to nope out. She started dating some guy not too long after that. Lo and behold, got pregnant and dropped out to fulfill her self-made prophecy. Worked in a restaurant in New Zealand, did a shift and was told to arrive 30 minutes before work. A split shift, so 30 minutes before each shift. Was told we don't get paid for the 30 minutes, so that was an hour unpaid total. Next morning, head chef comes running in a minute past 9 a.m. He asked if the owner was there. I said no. 30 minutes later, he comes over to me and says, okay, time for us to log in your setup on the system. I walked out. Should have the day before, but the worry in his eyes for coming late to the 30 minutes unpaid work was crazy. There was no meeting, and you were expected to be in full uniform and ready to start work 30 minutes early, and then take a minute to log in, and then just go back to your workstation. I'm surprised I didn't violate any label laws. I had a high school job where the manager used to regularly call down to the break room asking someone to come up to take care of some menial task that really could have waited. It was annoying as fuck. Then someone noticed on the mandatory posting of employee rights labor laws where it said that any shift over 6 hours, you were to have a 30-minute break, uninterrupted by any work duties. After that, people were eager to do his stupid little tasks because it meant that you got to go back to the break room afterwards with a fresh 30-minute clock. This happened to me in the 6th grade. It was during gym class. I had already dressed for gym, and I needed to pee before class started. Went into the stall, and someone obviously had the period shits, and smeared both blood and shit all over the toilet and the walls. I turned around and walked out, loudly saying, "That's so gross! Everyone avoid that third stall. Someone must have ran out of toilet paper and used the walls instead." Afterwards I thought, oh shit, anyone walking in there after I came out probably thought I did it. I avoided public bathrooms after that incident because I thought of all the horrors that have been done in stalls, and even if they looked clean, exactly how clean could they be after something like that? The bad thing is that since I've sworn off public bathrooms, I tend to go racing home to go pee. One afternoon, I couldn't find my key quickly enough and pissed my pants. I started limiting my fluid intake after that occurred. Was in Yellowstone. Turned on a path to find a bunch of tourists standing way too close to a baby bison. I did not want to be there when Mama came for her little one, so I hightailed it back the other way. My family went to Yellowstone when I was 12, and the amount of tourists I saw doing stupid, dangerous shit was crazy. We saw people trying to get selfies with a bear, people walking off the boardwalk into the hot springs, standing too close to the wild animals, etc. Some people just don't listen or read because signs were everywhere. Not something I noped out of, but something I definitely would have had the circumstances been different. I grew up in a small town, and after the bar shut down at 2 a.m., the only place open was a local donut shop with a Pizza Hut Express. Only 24-hour place in town. Naturally, after the bar, everybody in town who's awake shows up for donuts and pizza. The 2 RCMP who were on duty, as well as the 2 RCMP from the next town over, for those of you who don't know, that's Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they're a rural police officer in Canada, would come hang out there for a while and make sure that nobody was drunk driving or whatnot. Everyone knew that if you needed cops between 2 and 3 a.m., it was easiest to just call the donut shop. One night, a hooded man ran in with a knife and tried to rob the place. The direction he came from, he didn't see the 2 cruisers around the corner of the building, and didn't see the police sitting in the corner. The cashier just started laughing his ass off, and so did everyone else. The would-be crook got mad and started waving the knife around, until the 4 police officers, still sitting at the table, were like, "What the fuck, dude?" When he realized who they were, Buddy just sat the knife on the counter and put his hands up. Funniest shit ever. Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did. I'm ReddList. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.